This is What the Flock Radio's Birds of a Feather. We are an indie music focus show rife with witty, fuck-laden, insanely interesting, and unhinged banter. Our thematic submissions will confuse, infuse, and delight you, while our fascinating fun features fluster, flummox, fulfill, and thrill you. Well, who am I? That's a question for the ages, and I'm not sure that you're going to be satisfied with the answer, but I am the vocalist for the dark alt-rock band Ascent. Another promise, another seed, you caught me under false pretenses, escaping now far away. This is the last time I'll abandon you and everything you were. I can't remember when it was good. Sing for absolution and choose the other path. You don't have long. Now I won't settle for less, but I'm busy mending broken pieces of the life I had before. Who will win? Proclaim eternal victory. Set me free.
No. Oh, fuck. I, for one, feel totally abandoned from that. That was very powerful, but somehow it eluded me. Whoever it is must be some 90s... Which 90s band that I don't know anything about was this?
It's not a 90s band, it's Muse, one of the most famous bands in the world right now.
Ah.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant band, but I just want to... I know their music so well, so... Very, very interesting. So,
I love it when it's something great like that, and it's a band I don't know, because I'm like, wow. There's some good-ass lyrics. Nice work.
I need to introduce you to Muse.
I have heard a couple things, and I really was impressed.
They're amazing. Well, and introduce yourself, kind sir.
All right. Well, I'm Professor P-Soop, international rock legend, radiant savant, amateur wildlife photographer, and, call me irresponsible.
Uh-oh.
Maybe a little bit shallow, but I was born free, and I kind of intend to stay that way. I try to do as little as possible besides sit around and talk to the animals and keep my schedule blank, but never on Sunday. Because I know that Pumpkin here has high hopes that we'll manage to do a good show. And I know, Christina, you always do the best that you can do and totally lose yourself in the preparation and execution of the show. And your sacrifices include a long drive to both studios and back right before your work week starts. And we stay up very late doing it, and I know you're exhausted on the morning after. But who knows? Sooner or later, your efforts might bring us up where we belong, swinging on a star. But in any case, thank you so much for your effort, and que sera, sera. And I, earlier on, presciently anointed you, or appointed upon you, bestowed upon you the name of hardest working woman in showbiz, and you were talking about James Brown, the hardest working man.
Indeed.
And we said on the other show, on the Winging It's, which you have actually already heard.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
So one of them you haven't heard.
One of them you have not.
But Christina here actually performed live tonight at a place that is renowned for being held together by band stickers and being so old school. It has a cigarette machine. When was the last time you saw that?
When was the last time you saw that?
Tell us about that. The place is world famous, and it's called The Doll Hut. Tell us about the show and the last time you ever did a live show.
Yeah.
And other significance that that particular venue might hold for you.
Yeah, so thanks for asking. So, yes, today was the Tragic Radicals CD release party, well, EP release party, and we were very honored to be one of 3 bands they asked to perform with them, and it was a great show. We played at 3. It was hella hot, but it was a really great show, great turnout, great crowd. And yeah, the last time we had performed live was March 2020 at the same venue, so it only made sense that we returned to the same venue all these months later. And I'll be honest, I was a little nervous. I felt a little rusty. I felt a little out of my element. It's just been a long time, and I even had the question, can I still do this? I did. It was nice. I did it. And very sweet crowd, very kind crowd. So, yeah, and let's see, the significance of that place. We play there.
You played it last. You played it today.
Yes.
And something else happened there another time. Round about September 21st.
Is it 2019?
It's 2019.
And then, so I was playing outside because there was a couple stages, right? I remember that. And it was dark. And we finished our set. And I was helping him pack up because I'm fucking awesome that way. And over strolled a man. And he said,
with a, what was it, Creature from the Black Lagoon t-shirt.
Yes,
so
indeed.
you knew I was totally legit.
Totes.
And a sea green silk shirt.
For sure.
Which I had given to the clothing drive and then taken back.
Well,
it was fucking silk. Come on. It's cold. People need shirts. They don't need silk shirts.
Well, I mean,
I gave away a ton of stuff.
You did.
But, yep, we met on the 21st at the world-famous Doll Hut, the first and only time I'd been there. But, I figured I'd be edgy while I was there, taking a selfie of myself eating a cookie in the bathroom. It's that kind of night.
It was that kind of night.
And, I introduced myself as I usually do, not thinking anything particularly special at the moment. Little did I know.
Here we are.
Anyone know that here we are.
No one knew.
But
BFFs, here we are.
So, you performed again, and a fantastic precursor to a tour.
Indeed. We have one more live performance on the 19th in L.A. We're playing the Maui Sugar Mill, and that will be a really great show. We've never played there before. People love playing there, so we will be doing that on the 19th. So these are our two shows before we go on tour, the 25th, and we will not return until the 7th. So, wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah. We got band T-shirts. We got tour T-shirts. We got everything. So, yes, we are ready to go. And I'm excited, although I'm just hoping that everything stays open considering the COVID situation we have right now, which is always a little tenuous. And that area
it's fluid. It's very fluid.
Yeah, it is. That particular area didn't open up till a month ago. They were a lot later than California was, so that makes me a little nervous, but I'm hopeful. We will find out whether or not I went on tour. That's the idea. We printed shirts. We have at least hundreds of dollars invested in this already, and who knows how much time, so hopefully it will happen.
People want to tour. I mean, they can't stop you and Kiss from touring.
They can't.
You can't. I mean, no way.
I mean, people probably really want to see Kiss tour. They're just going to happen upon me. I will be thrust upon them.
Now, there's an unlikely pairing if you open for them.
They would probably not want me to open for them. They'd be like, do you disparage us on your stupid show? I'd be like, hey, it's not a stupid show. They'll be like, do you disparage us? Yes, that is becoming a stupid show the second you disparage us.
But my co-host loves you, and he would happily open for you.
Oh, that's correct. That's correct.
Well, I actually have news. I know I talk a big game. I talk a lot of shit and actually don't do anything. But
not true.
Regular listeners would know that I actually did release an album, Tell Me a Story with... but you see, that one, there were many guests on that one. 8 vocalists, 2 instrumentalists, and 1 vocalist, a couple of vocalists played, so it was like 3, and there are a lot of other people on it.
Sure.
However, I have released another album, a career-spanning retrospective called Oh Hell No, The Anthology, and it's available everywhere, although, honestly, if you want the best of the best, you can buy the CD from a link, ship it yourself, to yourself, on my website, ProfessorP-Soop.net. So you can get that link, you can get Tell Me a Story, or the new anthology, which is, get this, 31 tracks, but it's only an hour long. That's some Ramones shit right there. Because some of them are 30-second little, sound bites of actual, They Will Frighten You, perhaps, the Cutting Room Floor series, that a person was actually making such utterances while not, in a straitjacket or something. But they're on there, and I'm glad at some of the last-minute changes. I really am. The last-minute substitutions I made. I'm happy that it all fits on one disc.
Indeed.
I threw in at the last minute a lot more metal, a lot more hard stuff, because there were something about these songs that struck me as sounding shitty, as if that had ever deterred me before.
It struck me as sounding shitty. They just struck me. I like that. Okay.
But yeah, there are 31 in an hour, to borrow a Shakespearean phrase, brief and tedious. And it is a real career span. There are some early 4-track analog rubbish tunes on there. And it goes all the way on up to 20 and 30 track digital bits of rubbish. You are
really selling it here.
I mean, you can go there while you're listening to the show, ProfessorP-Soop.net.
Go there now.
It's like, shut up and take my money. But, I really do think you'll enjoy it. Mostly, I was going for the sound, the classic rock sound like 60s, where it sounds as if the recording device was at one end of a long corridor and the band was playing in a broom closet on the other end. That's kind of what I was going for.
Okay.
So when you hear that, you go, he fucking nailed it. Nailed it.
Okay.
And as with the last album release, I will not hold it against you or think differently about you if you're not sophisticated enough to perceive my avant-gardeness, which is very evident on this entire record. The stark staring difference being that this time it's all me except for 2 tracks that were among the finest things I've ever heard composed by 2 very brilliant men named Anthony Albanese and our very own Octane, with whom we've all worked. And those are on there, too. So you get a lot of bang for your buck, and I recommend you go get the CD. If not, you can stream it on any platform anywhere. Or Reverb Nation, Professor P-Soop, Reverb Nation. I actually did something. I stopped talking, got off the pot, and got something done for a change. So we both are kind of killing it as rock musicians and radio hosts here.
I don't know that I would say I'm killing it. I'm trying to kill it.
Trying to pump us up here.
I'm like, I mean, you know.
And that inexorably brings us to the recap of the theme, because there's no way we can expect you to remember it.
Of course not.
From last week, or remember it even from clicking on the link and playing it.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there, but
I mean,
doesn't mean you had to see it or really relate to it and internalize it. That's fine.
Right. That's fine.
And the theme was once again a free-for-all known as Freebird, in the genre we loosely define as Americana. And we've done this before. Americana is a hybrid of funk.
That would be interesting.
America's a hybrid of funk. Americana is a hybrid of folk, country, blues, rhythm and blues, bluegrass, Appalachian, rock and roll, and gospel. No question about it. And examples that really hit home on all those fronts are like Johnny Cash, John Mellencamp, Casey Musgrave. Awesome name. Don't know him much, but I know the name.
She's great.
She. Okay. Cool-ass name, Musgrave. Tom Waits, Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, the King, Brittany Howard, Lucinda Williams, the Lumineers. We talked about them, Mumford and Sons, and more. Don't know many of those, except for Robert Plant has spoken well of Mumford and Sons, which really doesn't mean much because maybe they sound like his stuff. You know. Oh, shit. It's all right. It's not that enthralling to me, I admit it.
Oh, my God. There it is. There you go. He said it. So how about I'll Do It Better Than Emu? For this feature, we discuss covers of songs that either rival or are better than the original.
Or not.
It has been declared a very, very good cover, one people like. Originally done by Soundgarden, the song Rusty Cage, and famously redone by Johnny Cash. Now, it's interesting. So, you think of the original. You may have heard the Johnny Cash version first, or you may have heard the Soundgarden version first, which may, have you leaning one way or the other. However, we have to go back to the original artists, listen to them, and say, really, does this other person do it better than Emu? And that is the question. And I definitely, as a avid fan of both of these artists, it's kind of it's a very interesting thought. So they're very different. They're so different, and I like that about it, right? I like it. If you're going to do a cover, you're not going to be able to do it as well as the original artist if you're just trying to sing it note for note. You're just not. So go ahead and take liberties with it and change it, especially if you can do it to a different, flip-flop it to a different genre. So in this case, obviously Soundgarden is, grunge, heavy, driving. So it's very much a very hard sound, which I really like. And then, of course, you have just the incredible, remarkable, one-of-a-kind Chris Cornell on vocals. So that's tough. Then you have Johnny Cash do his version, which is straightforward. It is, it is delivering it like it was a song he wrote. And there's a lot of charm in what he did. And I get both versions. So the question is, which one do I prefer? So for me, again, loving both, it's so hard. I still have to go with Soundgarden's Rusty Cage, the original. There's just nothing like it. It is propulsive. It's hard. It's proggy. It's a very interesting song. It's unlike a lot of their songs, but I still really, really like it, and I think I always will. What say you, David?
Well, they are both phenomenal artists, exactly as you said. I love them to death. And this is one of those cases, and it's strange because I'm the old dinosaur, but because it's a newer band, Soundgarden, I was actually very familiar with the Johnny Cash cover. In fact, I have that album, Unchained. And I don't know whether he just heard this song and said, hell yeah, I want to do that one. Or Rick Rubin thought this thing up because he's the producer. And he would have brought in all that hip business. He's got Beck on. He does a Beck song on this album. He had done Danzig on the last album. I mean, he's getting out there. So I have the record, and I've heard it a million times. I didn't hear the Soundgarden one until today, strangely enough, and I've heard a couple of their albums, but I did not hear this one, or maybe once or twice and completely forgot. But of the two, first of all, I would have to go with the Soundgarden original too, because without it, you'd be missing all those juicy riffs. I mean, this is my kind of groove metal. It really is, you know. And
strangely enough, it's mine too.
Yeah, I mean, some of the music of that era, just somehow I miss it. This totally resonates with me. Johnny Cash's version is fantastic. It was my introduction to the song. Now that I hear the real thing, it just got me hungry for it.
Absolutely.
Bring the metal, boys. You know?
Absolutely. So on this one, we agree. Amazing effort, obviously, by Johnny Cash. Definitely something that, you know, we'll listen to again and again.
I'm sure he could do I've Been Everywhere way better than Chris Cornell. You know?
I imagine he could, yes. Absolutely. So, but Soundgarden wins with the original Rusty Cage. So that's going to be it for I'll Do It Better Than Emu. And in this case, they didn't, but really, really beautiful job. So now I've been teasing you with the music, and now we are going to get to the music. This time it is Matt D. D stands for Downing, and the song is Devil You Know. This gentleman is from Sioux Falls, and his genre is Americana. Now, this particular gentleman has shared the stage with Chuck Berry, John Hyatt, Stoney LaRue, Bruce Hornsby, Ziggy Marley, and Bonnie Raitt. And that's just only naming a few. This guy is incredible, and I can't wait to hear what David says. And I only heard this song once a couple weeks ago, so it's going to be like listening with fresh ears. So here we go. We're going to wish away and come back and share our thoughts. Whoosh.
I am the needle and thread, the dress on the floor and the girl in your bed. I'm the night rolling in like a flood, the sharp taste of bourbon brewed thicker than blood. I'm the bottle that always runs dry, the thrill of that sweet empty look in your eye, the cries of the first bastard son, the ache in the heart of the man on the run. I'm a dark and decrepit motel, the guilt and regret that burn hotter than hell. I'm an orphan with nowhere to go, ghost in your room, the damn dirty devil you know. I am the red neon light, resurrecting desire on a cold autumn night. All the reckless abandon you'll own, sanctified in the throes of my presence alone. I'm the thrill of a passionate lie that you can hold in your heart till the day that you die. The lover that led you to stray, every dark deed you've done that you can't wash away. I'm a dark and decrepit motel, the guilt and regret that burn hotter than hell. I'm an orphan with nowhere to go, just a ghost in your room, every damn dirty devil you know. The devil you know. this wild, ravaged none. I'm the thunder that rattles the sky, the lightning that strikes in the blink of the night. I'm the poison you're destined to crave, the feeling you'll chase till you lay in your grave. I'm the silence that comes like a friend, and all the darkness you'll learn to embrace in the end. I'm a dark and decrepit motel, the guilt and regret that burn hotter than hell. I'm an orphan with nowhere to go, the ghost in your room, every damn dirty devil you know. The devil you know.
Okay, well, that was Matt D., and that was Devil You Know. So, my goodness, so many thoughts. I will allow you to start because it is actually your first time.
If somebody says to you Matt D, you think, oh, it's some rap act or something.
Does
like
sound
that.
kind of like that, doesn't it?
Something urban, some kind of, rhythm and blues thing. This is, you hear, there are a lot of influences there, like, Nick Cave and Tom Waits and things like that, and even touches of Metallica, maybe Metallica Unplugged. There's a lot of that drama there. Oh, well, partially plugged, because there's some badass electric guitar work in here, too.
Right.
It's a very powerful song, and it's funny, I'm listening to it, I'm like, wow, this is great, except I didn't get it when he would arrive at the chorus, and it sounded like he was saying, I'm an oven with nowhere to go, and I'm like, what? I guess that would be kind of a drag, It's an orphan, which is just part of this very powerful lyric here. It's the first time I've ever heard the song, and a huge impression. This has got to be a real showstopper live, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Right?
This song reminds me of why I like Americana at all. The voice, the lyrics, like you said, he's so emotive. It's dark, it's beautiful, and it's absolutely frightening. Mm-hmm. The devil you know, people always say it and they make light of it. Oh, the devil you know. There's nothing light about the devil you know. It's all of these really, I guess really difficult things that we face every day. And yeah, it's a devil we know. That doesn't make it good. And, he talks about all of these devils, and it's exactly what I hoped when I was listening to it originally. I was like, devil, I know this has got to be really dark. This got to be really creepy. It's got to kind of get to me, and it really did. Although it's a little sexy, too. It's definitely sexy, and it's forbidden, which I like. So he's got that whole thing going, too. And I want to hear this a cappella. Imagine him just singing this with nothing. I can't even imagine. I'm so profoundly moved by this guy. I will tell you, the guitar takes it home. The swells and the spoken word. I just can't say enough about this. I heard this, the first couple lines, and I was sold. There was no way.
This is like film noir set to music. I mean,
sure.
It's I just felt that in this.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Very, very amazing. So, Matt D., and you can find him on Facebook at Matt Hard Luck Americana. Whew. All right. Well, that means you have to do something, as you so frequently say to me.
Well, the writing is on the wall. Apparently, I have to get off my duff and do a feature. First of all, it's interesting that we don't have any new features this time.
I had a feeling you were going to bring that up.
It's surprising because, and honestly, she's been coming up with some really great ones, like Crestral Clear. I love that. That one was made to order for me.
It was.
Here are lyrics that any lunkhead can understand.
Oh.
I think next time I'm going to do the Ramones. Now I want to sniff some glue. That would
Nice. Well, I know you like it. You're just like, just tell me. Just say what you want to say. So
yeah, or hope to God nobody asks me what I think it's about.
Because we'll see.
And you'll probably recall this feature, Unnested Flying Solo. And for this feature, we'll look at artists that left bands and went solo. And there are a lot of variations on that one we have come across. And, well, once upon a time, there were 3 little girls. Now, some of you are thinking, I'm used to this guy's unhinged randomness, but the Charlie's Angels intro, really? No, you silly geese, I'm talking about a band. And before you start any of this horse shit about how sexist that is, they pretty much were little girls back then. They were a little wet behind the ears teenagers who weren't even old enough to vote. So they were little girls, okay? And then there were 5, and then they went down to 4 again before they finally split up, launching 3 solo careers. One of the original 3 never actually recorded with the band in question, but went on to become the bassist and part-time vocalist of the Bangles. That's Mickey Steele was one of the originals. One of them remained with the group till the very end, and she was everybody's first girl drummer crush, with the possible exception of Karen Carpenter, Sandy West, who sadly passed away. The other founding member who was also there till the end, and whose solo career was undeniably the most successful, was Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Joan Jett. And the group she was unnested from to fly solo was the Runaways. Now, the most successful Runaways lineup was the 5, and in fact, all of the 3 solo careers I mentioned were part of that group. Manager-songwriter Kim Fowley recruited lead singer Cherie Currie to be what a magazine would later describe as the lost daughter of Iggy Pop and Brigitte Bardot. And slick far beyond her years, lead guitarist Lita Ford. Now, I was in junior high school when the Runaways came out, and I was reading about their exploits in Cream and Circus magazines and listening to the records, like, really astonished. Not because they were girls, and to be honest, I never heard any of that chicks can't rock stuff from anybody that I ever knew. But I'm not questioning it was around them, but it's, I didn't hear it. But what really blew me away is that they were kids, just like me, like a year older, poised and confident and tight, and yet they were kicking asses on stages all over the world, as documented on their live album, Live in Japan. Now, I know what the garage bands I was playing in at the time sounded like, and it wasn't like that, let's put it that way. But young things and tender that they were, drugs and fatigue and general insanity took a toll, causing Cherie to leave the group, lead vocal duties falling back to Joan, and for the remaining 2 albums. And in the coming decades, Cherie would release a few albums, solo and some with her identical twin sister Marie, drug counseling, acting, positively stealing the film away from Jodie Foster in Foxes, and became a very accomplished chainsaw artist to boot. Only in the last couple of years has she seriously returned to making rock records, and it's really welcome. Unfortunately, she's the least known of the 3. Pretty much everyone knows Lita Ford, though I still run into people fairly often who don't know that her and Joan Jett were in the same band together at one point, that was their first band when they were kids. Despite the fact that the Runaways were introduced to a new generation of fans in 2010 with the release of the film The Runaways, based on Cherie Currie's book Neon Angel. Joan Jett did some acting herself, appearing on a number of television shows, and most notably starring in the film Light of Day opposite Michael J. Fox. But for the most part, she's been making music since the Runaways disbanded. And I gotta tell you, in the 80s, you could not go near, this is another one of those rock the Casbah things, you could not go near a jukebox or a bar or a television set or anything in the 80s and not hear any one of a number of classics generated by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, even though many of them were covers, such as Do You Want to Touch Me, a Gary Glitter cover, Everyday People, Sly and the Family Stone, Crimson and Clover, Tommy James and the Shondells, and even I Love Rock and Roll, which I only just found out was a cover. You would think I would know something like that, but I didn't. But she certainly hit with some originals as well, like Bad Reputation, Fake Friends, and the classic Just Try to Get This Out of Your Head, Smash, I Hate Myself for Loving You. I mean, there's no way around that song, okay? With respect to Susie Quattroo, who came before and inspired these young ladies, Joan Jett probably could be called the archetype of all the tough, badass punk rock chicks, which makes it a hysterical paradox that she has, like, the most beautiful angelic smile of anyone. And tell you, how do those two coincide, I don't know. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015, and, for what that's worth, I would, honestly, to be real about Joan, I would place her in the category of people who can't sing, but you still like to listen to them anyway. And there are a lot of those. And anyone out there who does like her vocals, I do advise you to check out the Runaways, because even on the 2 studio albums with the whole group, she still sings lead on about half of them, so you get a lot of Joan there. And I got to say, I also understand a little bit where the critics are coming from, who say she really does not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for what that's worth. I think she should have been inducted as a member of the Runaways, not a solo artist. I just don't think she's that remarkable. But I do like her, though, I gotta say. So I'm mostly in, and she certainly made good, and that's a good unnested flying solo. But tell me, where do you stand on the whole Joan issue? She's probably not a role model for you as a vocalist or anything. This is probably not what you aspire to. But give us your opinion.
You know, she was great to speed skate, too, when I was a little girl.
The 80s, babies!
And that's pretty much, it was cool to hear a badass chick, do whatever she did. It wasn't what I called singing, but it was kind of talk singing. I don't know how to explain it, but it was cool. And she had that, she made her voice do that, which we can all do. But I thought it was pretty cool. She's definitely not a role model, but it's interesting to see how far a cute girl that can't sing but can play guitar can go. And that's how far. But yeah, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing really pisses me off, because there's so many people that aren't in there that should be in there, and she should not. And I don't even know if the Runaways should be in there. But I think it's interesting that she is. And if I were one of the Runaways, I'd be pissed off that she's in there and I'm not, although she did more on her own than they did as a band as far as fame and all that. But yeah, this has been a source of pain for many of us, because so many amazing bands are not in there, but that is in there. It's concerning and confusing, and it makes me question the whole thing. But she's fine. She's fun.
Well, at least she's rock and roll. There are a lot of acts in there that, by no stretch of the imagination, we did another show about this once. I don't. For me, it isn't, the attitude doesn't make something rock and roll, no matter, even if the music is not, in my mind. So this idea that Tupac is rock and roll is beyond me.
Yeah, but Tupac has maybe more talent than Joan Jett does. So
that's what I meant when I said Joan Jett. Yeah. At least she's rock and roll.
But she still should not be in there.
Some of the criteria, they look at things like, the time they came in and the history and blah, blah, blah. And by a lot of these highly questionable measures, I think the Runaways do belong in there.
I do not.
Okay.
I think if you put the Runaways in there, it's as offensive as having her in there, because there's so many amazing bands. I mean, we've talked about lists of bands that are not in there, but she's in there. It's just offensive.
It's honestly amazing. Some of the ones we're still waiting for.
Yeah, but she got in. Yay, her. So I don't know, but it's hard to say too. I mean, because if you have this band go in, then it inches out another band. So that is where my measure of, I don't think the Runaways belong in there, because that means they inch out somebody who has spent years and years waiting to get in there and really deserves to be in there at a level that maybe they don't. Not saying never, just not anytime in the next probably 60 years.
Kiss her in there.
That's a problem for me. Yes, they're rock and roll, but I mean, is that the only criteria? So very interesting, but Joan Jett is fine. I mean, she's super fun. And I'll tell you, when that stuff comes on the radio, I listen.
Yeah,
any of her stuff.
Smile goes on your face and you go, hell yeah.
It's so fun. Yeah. Absolutely. That was a really, really good one. Very, very cool. Unnested flying solo.
Oblast. Owing to technical issues, I shall have to introduce the next song. From Detroit, the Motor City, of all places, this is Blue Mountain Bell with Should We Fall? Apparently not an interrogative, as there is no question mark.
Should we fall right now? I won't let go of your hand on the way down, 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 down on the way down. I trace in the mirror the words that you spoke last night. I like your antique choice. The record plays you're in bed, one arm beneath your head. Should we fall right go of your hand on the way down, 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 down on the way down. You tell me to pay no mind to all the things they say. The devil from LA. Find your picture in issues of Billboard from 63. Your children send letters unopened from each address. The checks you never send. But should we fall right now, I won't let go of your hand on the way down, 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 down on the way down. I sit on the sink and I watch you between my knees. Your voice ivory, stainless steel. You don't feel the road on your own, but you want me, babe. Should we fall right now, I won't let go of your hand on the way down, 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 down on the way down.
Whoosh. All right, that was Blue Mountain Bell with Should We Fall from Detroit, Michigan. They are folk and Americana, and I will tell you, I heard that voice and it was arresting. It is so controlled and smooth and enchanting. It is, I don't know, it is, it's certainly not something I've never heard, but I was not expecting it. I go through all of these on Bandcamp, and some of them are too country for me, you know, and so I listened to the first couple seconds of it, and this just stopped me dead in my tracks. That first, like, the very beginning, where you hear the just kind of the driving rhythm, and then the voice.
It's almost a fake out because it starts with this dun dun dun. It was
Yes.
really rootsy, like the Johnny Cash we were just talking about.
For sure.
Rusty Cage. And then in comes this ethereal female vocal. It's like a lot of female singer-songwriter types of things, but it's much rootsier. It's more Americana. It really is.
It definitely is.
And I gotta say the melody. I mean, when you were reading it when we were coming back, it's like, should we fall? I'm already hearing it. I'm still hearing it in my head in exactly that voice. Well, the voice is like kind of spectral almost.
Absolutely.
And jazzy. So it's basically like a cabaret ghost, which is pretty fucking awesome.
Totally amazing. And it's unexpected, like you said from the very beginning. And I love that you mentioned the melody, because I think the melody is simple. It's simple enough that she can play with it and really enjoy it. And you can hear it. Just she opens it up, but it's so controlled. And I don't think melodies have to be overly complex to be good, which is why we like pop music, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have to be overly complex. They can even be just three words,
okay? Ode to Joy.
I mean, there you go. You know, there it is. That's right. I mean, amazing. And one of the things that I really liked is, speaking of, the melody and the vocals, there were harmonies in this, but what I really liked is they weren't too forward. Most of the time you're looking for harmonies in Americana, they're very lush and they're very, in the front, or they're very, very noticeable. And this way it was just kind of this beautiful little whisper. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I was thinking it's so weird because part of the song I thought, oh gosh, this particular, the protagonist, if you will, is very, very innocent. And then I thought, no, they're very wise. No, they're very innocent. No, they're very... So it was maybe it's an internal struggle with what's going on in the song. I don't know, but that's what I got.
Letting the vulnerable child come out and all that stuff for all of us to see.
Seriously, it was really great.
I'm not trying to be alliterative or anything, but for some reason I thought of 4 Ps, that the percussion on this song really is pitch perfect.
It is.
And the propulsion that it provides. I mean, that's 5 Ps.
That's beautiful.
But it is. It's just, it is absolutely, without it, if somebody had some wackadoodle Paul Simon ideas about not having percussion, it would be would not be the perfect song that it is. So
It would not be.
Hella good, hella good.
Very, very good. You can find Blue Mountain Belle on Facebook at Blue MTNBELLE. Oh boy. Well, I'm hoping that this Forget Me Not is the first time we've done this particular artist, but I'm worried now. So we'll see. So our next feature is Forget Me Nots, and for this feature, we review couples that made or make music together. And the couple I've selected is Ike and Tina Turner.
Oh, nice. That's unexpected, to say the least.
Indeed. Well, I thought about it a lot. And I thought, well, what would I like to do? Gosh, that is ever a couple that is just in the forefront of my mind. When I thought about writing this particular feature before I even presented it to you, they were one of the first that came to mind. And so I thought, well, let's tell the story again. I also just happened to watch Tina, the documentary, and that really brought her to the forefront of my mind, and the music. So Tina Turner, as we know, had a very rough family life, right? Her parents were poor sharecroppers, and they split up, and they left her and her sister to be raised by their grandmother. I mean, one day they just never came back.
Wow.
And as a teen, she immersed herself in the St. Louis R&B music scene. And as the story goes, and the biopic that was done, brilliant biopic, she was at a local nightclub called Club Manhattan, and she crossed paths with Ike Turner. And she was in her teens, so she was a little baby thing. And she was not particularly drawn to him romantically upon first sight. In fact, found him unattractive, which I can understand. But she did admit that she was drawn to his voice. I don't have that problem. Mm-hmm. But her voice is unlike anything I've ever heard. Honestly, I think
his can be easily faked.
Yeah, and his is forgettable, but there's nothing like that voice. And maybe together it was okay, but she got up to sing she got up to sing a version of B.B. King's "You Know I Love You," which that song is so amazing. Her singing that song, I can't even imagine. And their musical bond apparently was instantly formed. And with Ike and her powerful voice, they were the Ike and Tina review, right? So, I mean, that's how everybody knew them. You didn't say Tina without saying Ike. You didn't say Ike without saying Tina. It just happened. And they scored their first R&B hit in 1960 with "A Fool in Love," reaching number 2. Yeah, just a fool in love. Oh, such a great song. And again, she's got such a rock voice. I just love it. She has more of a rock voice than I do, and that sucks. I want one. They've had hits with things like "I Idolize You," "It's Gonna Work Out Fine," "Poor Fool," and "Tra La 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 La." Tina also worked with Phil Spector on "River Deep Mountain High," which I will say, we don't clearly fucking get it here in the United States, but in the UK, overseas, they got how great a song that is, because it really didn't do shit here in America. We just don't get it.
Globally, it's a classic. It never even occurred to me that it wasn't big here, because I know it's a beloved song.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And it's so just everything. Phil Spector, I mean, crazy motherfucker, in jail, whatever. That's fine. Brilliant, brilliant producer. They also hit the top charts with their cover of "Proud Mary,"
Creedence,
which earned them a Grammy for Best R&B Vocal Performance by a Group, and obviously that is the "I'll Do It Better Than Emu" to me pinnacle right there.
And the Creedence does a lot of different things, but the reading of that song, the original actually, is pretty damn Americana. In fact, a lot of their stuff would fit into that category. They go the swampy rock route, and the barn burning traveling band type stuff.
Yes.
But they were pretty Americana, and not the cover though. That cover is unleashed soul,
absolutely.
R&B on freight train. It's a brilliant cover. It is better. I mean, come on, let's face it.
It is. She definitely did it better. Completely different, like we said again, taking out of the genre it's in and just catapulting it to a new level.
By the way, that is a legitimate James Bond tie-in. I have been ignoring them. She sang a Bond theme.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know who wrote that song?
I do not.
Really? Tina Turner sings the theme from GoldenEye. I'm just saying, because you'll find this interesting. Because you have found since that Jack White did a Bond theme, that Chris Cornell.
Yep.
And the twist here is it was sung by Tina, who also did the fantastic "We Don't Need Another Hero," Thunderdome, baby. But
you're stealing my thunder.
That's true, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But it was written by your homies Bono and The Edge. The song Goldeneye.
Wow.
Think about that. Bono and The Edge wrote a song, and it's sung by Tina Turner. That's something you ought to listen to.
I'm on it. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
I'm down. I'm doing it.
But yes.
I have been schooled again. Schooled again.
Little trivia there.
Tina did all of this. So she was this legitimate rock star, working her ass off, touring all the time, dealing with, unspeakable crimes at home. And she did it all. She raised a family. She was a rock star, obviously, while being emotionally abused, beaten, and even raped by Ike. In 1968, she tried to take her own life. Sadly, thank goodness she survived and returned to Ike, and the abuse continued, unfortunately, as we all know. And then came 1973's Nutbush City Limits, one of my favorite songs. And that hit the pop and R&B charts alike, but nothing has quite reached the level of that Proud Mary cover. And in 1976, Tina left Ike after a fight and took only her name and 2 cars from the marriage. She was finally free.
Wow.
She went on to remarkable success with hits like Better Be Good to Me, Let's Stay Together, which is a cover of an Al Green song,
yeah.
and What's Love Got to Do with It, which is Grammy winning, and We Don't Need Another Hero, which is also, again, one of my favorite songs. I've seen the 1993 film, What's Love Got to Do with It, as well as the recent documentary, Tina. Both are portraits of a talented, formidable, and triumphant woman who overcame so much to become Tina. The documentary is her farewell to her fans. Tina Turner is 81 and lives in Switzerland with her husband. So she is very aware. She's had a stroke. She's had many different health issues. So Tina has made her final bow.
The biographies say, now why am I forgetting, unless it's Angela, what's her name?
Angela Bassett, you're right.
Who played her in the movie.
She was amazing.
Yeah, and never saw it, but somehow that association is there.
And Lawrence Fishburne, not a fan of his because of that he was a fucker in that movie. He was horrendous.
Oh, what an actor, though.
I wanted to kill him. Speaking of Ike, he did pass away from a drug overdose in 2007.
I knew he was gone, but I forgot that's what did it.
Yeah. He had lots of trouble. He was also, I believe, abused when he was, a child as well. So he didn't have the best examples, but that doesn't mean we've talked about this a million times.
We have definitely settled this and are on the same page about this.
Absolutely. You don't, just because you're abused, you don't abuse. That's not the way it works. So,
nope.
Unfortunately, a very difficult life, but obviously a tremendous body of work. And she has been free for a long time and is extraordinarily happy.
And that's a great story, and it's also a very great and surprising pick for this feature.
Yeah, right?
You would not think. I mean, I deliberately left Johnny and June for you. I took some off the beaten path, Pat Benatar and Neil DeRosa.
Which was great.
And but this is fascinating, and I mean, it's a great story, and they were a musical couple. There's no question about it. They made music together. Nowhere does it say they lived happily ever after.
She did, and I don't know.
That's all we care about.
That's all we care about. I will say I did not shed a tear when Ike passed. I think it was fine.
It was his time.
It was definitely his time.
Speaking of time, there's either a song or a feature or some previously undisclosed thing coming up, but I think as radio presenters, we can never lose sight of our primary responsibility. And we have to maintain focus on our chief priority, which is to find the killer, find the killer, find the killer.
Find the killer.
I was looking that up before. Did we ever figure out who it was?
No.
Well, damn.
No. I have some tricks up my sleeve. I'm going to try to find still, but God, such a great song.
I mean, it's a great song. We're still talking about 2 episodes later.
It was so good.
You brought it up later in the show, and we don't even know who it is.
I don't know.
In fact, I couldn't remember that. I was looking in a Dropbox, and it's like, okay, nothing, doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything. I'm going to try a couple other things that have worked in the past, but man, I did search high and low, but such a great song. Too bad. Again, a cautionary tale. Please label not only the title, but label the track. Label the track and send it to us, your MP3, so that we can give you the credit. We kind of felt let down, and here's another song about somebody being let down. Why don't you take it away there, Pumpkin?
Well, it would be my pleasure to tell you that the next artist is the Sawdust Brothers with Jesus Let Me Down. Yes, indeed. Being let down by Jesus, that seems like a doozy. They are from Nashville, Tennessee. They are indeed Americana. And we should take a quick listen to Jesus Let Me Down.
Jesus used to be my friend. Jesus used to be my friend. But I fell out of favor with him. Sad-eyed angel in my head. Sad-eyed angel in my head. Said I'll meet you when you are dead. And everything I thought I knew, that all changed when I lost you. And everything I thought I'd found, that all changed when Jesus let me down.
I drank the wine. I spoke the words, I drank the wine. But it weren't enough to make you mine. I said, Jesus, don't you hear my plea? Jesus, don't you hear my plea? I guess he turned a deaf ear to me.
Is everything I thought I knew, that all changed when I lost you. And everything I thought I found, that all changed when Jesus let me down. Jesus used to be my friend. Jesus used to be my friend. But I fell out of favor with him.
Whoosh. Well, Jesus Let Me Down. Did he let you down, David, with this song?
The song doesn't let me down, and Jesus doesn't either. So yeah, everybody's the Sawdust Brothers. First of all, as if the name were not Americana enough.
Right.
I mean, the very intro. I mean, you can smell the sawdust.
I feel it.
I mean, you can feel it. This is a foot stomping, rootsy rock and roll hoedown here. And, it's unfortunate that they're not on the same page with the Doobie Brothers and thinking Jesus is just all right. They say he is their friend. These guys, well, we used to be friends, but we kind of fell out.
Yeah.
So, okay, this sad little breakup story here, premise, which is predicated on the idea that Jesus is under some obligation to grant the narrator the lady of his the favor of his lady love. I think I
think he had already granted, and then the lady is now gone. So I think he giveth and then taketh away.
And that's Jesus' fault. Okay,
yeah, indeed,
it's very transgressive, but thankfully I do not. It's kind of transgressive, but I do not judge art in such ways. I actually love the tune, though. Very enjoyable.
Transgressive. Yeah. That might be a little much there.
I was just trying to sound, educated and trying to sound erudite,
Oh my god! Oh my god!
By using words like erudite,
I am not sure what to make of this moment. I'm not. Oh my god! Wow. Anyway,
it's a birds of a feather moment.
It definitely is. Well, I will say, I absolutely loved it. I certainly was sitting on a bale of hay, and I was happy as fuck there. I love the vocals. When the harmonies come in, there's nothing like Americana harmonies to me. There's just a rawness and a realness about it, and I really loved it. I love the little beat. I love the banjo work. Oh, I'm telling you right now, that is banjo work that would make Steve Martin proud. I'm just saying right there, it was beautiful. I love the repetition as well.
Are you referring to Grammy Award winner Steve Martin?
Maybe.
The banjo player? Yeah, I mean, Americana done right is absolutely superb.
This is brilliant.
It's just brilliant. And that's just what we have here with the Sawdust Brothers.
Absolutely. And I love that the sentiment is common. I think that it's a common sentiment among many people who are thinking, I feel like Jesus let me down in this moment. So I feel like it's relatable. I feel like, even if, I love that he says I fell out of favor with him, and that's why things have gone poorly for me. And I think there's some kind of...
Basically, he was wrong first. Right, exactly. He's owning some responsibility there, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, I dig it. I like that he's like, I fell out of favor with them, and that's why this happened. And I think it's okay to place the blame externally, because sometimes that's what helps us get through it. So I thought this was a really charming song. Obviously, certainly sad, but I do love the vocals. I love his voice. I love the whole thing. So... the Sawdust Brothers, for sure. Jesus Let Me Down, and so much more. I listened to quite a few of their tunes. This one just really got me. You can find them on Facebook at the Sawdust Brothers.
All right, I'm sure they made a big impression, and that was far away from anything you'd ever call an albatrosity, but that's the name of the next feature here. Now, we've done this one before, or by which I mean to say I've done this one before. I think this is my second time getting honored with the privilege of doing an albatrosity, which was a new feature, right? The last time was the first time. It was a new feature.
I think this is 2 times now. I think this is the third.
Did you do one?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Listeners, what do you think? Anyway.
Either way, it could be an albatrosity if I haven't.
Well, I mean, where do you go from Marilyn Manson? Okay.
I mean...
for this feature, we discuss bad behavior, poor choices, substance abuse, or criminal behaviors that have marred bands or artists' music and or the music scene in general, gave all musicians a black eye and a bad name, or just messed up somebody's career, or perhaps should have but didn't, as in the case of Ozzy Osbourne. Actually, I did 3 of... No, that wasn't an albatrosity, was it? Yeah. Anyway, so as for tonight... actually, certain events might be deemed an albatrosity here, but it's a very interesting story about a very interesting individual, even if it does contain something that certainly deserves to be called an albatrosity. No doubt you have seen on social media in response to any number of, really whack images or statements, the rejoinder, cocaine is a hell of a drug. How many times do you see that?
Quite a
Somebody
few.
will say some stupid shit or do something. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Well, the gentleman credited with at least popularizing that statement is the subject of tonight's albatrosity, James Ambrose Johnson Jr., professionally known as Rick James. I love when she gets the reveal. And not only did he say cocaine is a hell of a drug, he proved it.
Oh, rest in peace, Ricky.
I'm going to be a lot easier on Rick than you think. But I'm amazed at the things I uncovered about him, honestly, and his fascinating life and career while researching this. Seriously. He was in the Naval Reserve, missed a couple of sessions, was ordered to Vietnam, fled to Toronto, ended up being sentenced to 5 months hard labor. Yeah, they actually did that back then. That shit does not exist now. Escaped and surrendered much later and served a little time then. But while in Toronto, he was attacked by 3 men, and others came to his rescue. And one of the rescuers was Levon Helm of the band.
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of
shit.
I'm telling you, James ended up playing with them on stage that night. He also hung out with Joni Mitchell, and this was a complete revelation to me. Get this. Formed a band called the Mina Birds. I mean, he's a man after our own heart here.
Wow.
The Mina Birds with, wait till you hear this, none other than Neil Young.
Oh, my God.
Yup. You believe that? And another member of Buffalo Springfield, too, and a member of what would become Steppenwolf. He almost ended up as Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young's bass player.
Are you kidding?
No. Is this amazing?
What in the hell is going on?
I was blown away by this story.
I am so stunned. I mean, look at my face. I'm like, what? Every single thing is
They don't
more
get to see it, but at
than
least
the
I get to
last.
see it. I mean,
Wow.
He produced records for The Miracles, The Spinners, dabbled in pimping, but found out he just wasn't tough and cold-blooded enough. So that puts him, way ahead of Snoop Dogg right there.
Shit. Has Snoop Dogg pimped?
He says he has, I think.
Okay, interesting.
Returning to L.A., working for Motown's Berry Gordy, as we all know him, as a session bass player, crashing the first night on Stephen Still's couch, he awoke to find a young man in a lotus position with bleeding wrists and summoned help.
Oh, my God.
He would later find out that was his introduction to Jim Morrison.
Oh, my God.
Rick James also claims to have been invited by hairstylist Jay Sebring to a party at Sharon Tate's home.
Oh, shit.
But was allegedly too hungover to get out of bed. Had he gone, it's likely he too would have been murdered along with everyone else there by the Manson family. I mean, he seems to have been everywhere.
Oh, my God.
He's basically the Forrest Gump of music.
Oh, shit. Seriously.
You go through this guy's life, and who has he not met?
Oh, my God.
This is the Forrest Gump of music here.
Shit.
Of course, he ended up launching a solo career, having quite a few gold and platinum records, all the while producing for other acts to play, like Tina Marie and the Mary Jane Girls. Prince even opened for him once.
What?
And on one tour, which started a bitter rivalry, which James claiming Prince ripped off his act. Well, I mean, they look a little bit alike.
They
I
don't.
mean,
No.
You know, the smooth dude, funk guy.
I'm sorry, there was nothing smooth or sexy about Rick James,
Oh,
but there was about Prince.
Prince is the king. Come on.
Yeah, there's no way.
As for his signature smash hit, Super Freak, he ran into some trouble, and MTV rejected the video for being too racy back then.
I was like, that'd be fine now.
Yeah, which caused him to turn around and charge that it was being racist.
Oh, shit.
You're a racist. No, you're racy. Despite the success of Prince and Michael Jackson, he argued there weren't enough black artists on MTV, and no less of a personage than David Bowie co-signed the petition.
Oh.
To get more black people on MTV. Okay.
I'm
See,
not
they've always
surprised
been
by
there.
that. I'm not surprised by that.
The unmistakable bass line was co-opted, of course, by MC Hammer for his smash You Can't Touch This. And while he didn't give permission ahead of time, he decided he would go for the ride since it made him a, quote, shitload of money. And later won him a Grammy as co-writer of the song. Yeah.
That's right.
If that were not enough, he also wrote and produced Eddie Murphy's hit "Party All the Time." I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I love that song, actually.
I mean, it's a fine song, but I mean,
well, I say hell yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's
so,
lovely.
Where does the albatrosity come in? Well, there were a couple incidents, actually.
Well, we did say he was a pimp. I mean, that could be considered an albatrosity.
Yeah, but he was too nice to be a real pimp.
I mean, but he was a pimp for a bit.
I suppose he was, yeah.
There was a pimp moment in his life.
Yeah. There was a pimp interlude.
That's correct. He pimped it up at some point, so interesting. Not many can say that. Not many.
No, they can't. So where does the albatrosity come in? Oh, around about 1991. Now, remember, he's been hobnobbing and rubbing elbows and making studio sounds with musicians all the way back into the 60s.
Sure.
Along comes 1991, and we have this headline from the Los Angeles Times. Pop singer arrested on torture, drug charges. Violence. Grammy winner Rick James and girlfriend are accused of imprisoning a woman at his Mulholland Drive home.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there were two of these, actually, incidents. And, he and his girlfriend, his 21-year-old girlfriend, imprisoned this 24-year-old woman and tortured her with a hot cocaine pipe over 3 days at James Hollywood Hills home. And, of course, the article goes on to explain he's spearheaded the, funk rock movement and everything, and even coined his own term, funk, whatever it was. But,
wow.
Honestly, I said I wasn't going to be too hard on him. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. I don't think a drugs or booze can put something in you that isn't there already. I mean, I think if you do something terrible while under the influence, you are responsible for it.
So are you saying that anything that opens your third eye, that third eye is inside you? It's not bringing out something that didn't exist? You're saying it existed already in that person, that evil, that tendency, that ability to be evil.
Right, but they... Yeah, but they had the good sense, the moral sense. They knew right from wrong, and they sublimated it. I mean, they had dark impulses, and they're like, okay, maybe they weren't even all that aware of them, but they were there. They did such a good job of keeping a lid on it. But then along comes drugs. I have seen people under the influence of cocaine for like days on end, and weird paranoid ideas, all kinds of delusions of grandeur and everything. And I think, under the circumstances, losing touch with reality like that, sure, he's responsible, and the girlfriend, I think she was supposed to have done most of it. But looking at his life as a whole, there was another similar incident like this. Terrible crimes he committed. Looking at his life as a whole, it looks like this is not a guy who went around constantly making trouble and, falling out with people and hurting people and doing evil shit to people. That it was just the drugs getting into something dark in him. I mean, I'm not trying to give him a pass or anything.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I buy that. I feel like drugs really do fuck with you. And I do think they can change the chemistry of your brain. I do think they can change your natural impulses. I think they are that powerful, especially something like meth, something like cocaine, something like acid, all those things. I think there are some to a lesser degree, but I do think they of course, bring out other parts of you, of course, but that usually manifests in like sexuality, right? Oh, that makes you feel more like, oh, okay, yeah,
Reefer
ecstasy.
madness.
Exactly, right? So it does that, but I don't know if it's going to make you, if it's bringing something out in you, or if it is opening something that didn't exist, or creating something that wasn't there. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I think he was, evil in there and was just pushing it down, or he wasn't even aware of it. I think it really did. It does change you.
Well, as far as the wiring of the brain and everything, chemistry-wise, I suppose it does. I don't know about doing actual deeds, but maybe. Either way, I really do think this is not any indication of how Rick James was as a person or anything. I think he lived a relatively normal and productive and fascinating life, and did a lot of good things and all. But those were undoubtedly albatrocities. Yeah, he did some time. And started to make a comeback a little bit,
and then he died.
And everything. But when you have an albatrocity in your life, that's something people are always going to remember
for sure. And that's a big one.
That is quite a big one. That's
it is.
That actually. Well, I was gonna say that outdid Marilyn Manson, but not quite. Not quite.
I mean, it's not good. Neither is good, but as far as comparison, I'm not sure they compare. But yeah, I
think Marilyn Manson's just got a longer sheet on that one. Yeah.
Certainly an albatrocity. Oh, my goodness. Yes,
no question, yeah. All right, and it's time for another song. And after much deliberation and careful contemplation and, what's the word I'm looking for? Preponderance of the evidence.
For sure.
Yeah.
Deduction.
After that, we have concluded that the name of this band is Alight.
Yes.
And in your little educated minds, no doubt the high educational level of our audience,
of course,
you'd be thinking ALIGHT, which is how Alight is spelled. No,
right.
It's ALITE. However, when you're going, well, isn't it elite? No, it must be a light. There's a little flame
over the eye.
And this is the Sherlockian approach we took to this.
Yes, because we care.
We care. We thought it was. We really wanted to pass on accurate information to you.
That's right.
And we wanted to. It seemed elementary to us that it was a light.
A light because it's almost like elite.
And this is a band from the UK, more Americana from Europe. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And the song is called Better News, and we're going to listen to it now and whoosh out and back and tell you what we think.
Okay, whoosh.
You're losing light. Start the engine and don't come by for no good reason no more. I saw the mild breeze of good intention sweep your hair aside. You finally took more pride and managed goodbye. In better news, it was like holding back thunder. In better news, I knew this day would come. And if you could see me now, I know you never have gone. And so I threw money at the problem, took all my bills and threw them in the fire. Caught a plane to East Coast Australia where I really was alone. 10,000 miles from home, and just so the shelf. I saw the news.
Well, in better news, my goodness, I just have to say that voice is so soulful. When I heard it, when I was listening on Bandcamp, it just struck me. For Americana, it's incredibly soulful.
When it started, before the real instrumentation kicked in, which grounded it like in Americanaville,
oh, yeah.
You know, it almost sounded like a Celtic gospel thing, you know?
I totally hear that.
I mean, it's European, and you can see it there, but it sounds like it's Celtic gospel by way of the southern United States, you know?
Yes.
And as you said, the vocal, it was so impassioned without being overwrought at all.
It really, nothing in this song was overdone.
No.
Not one thing. It
Every
was
note,
all perfect.
everything was perfect, and what was really cool was it was a chorus we welcomed every time.
Every time.
But with different words to enjoy and listen to.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a great enough chorus anyway, but every time we got something, we got further and further into it.
That's right.
And, it's really tasty guitar break. I absolutely loved it.
But mellow with a little tambourine. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
yes.
I loved it. I just thought there's some rises and falls, not just in her voice, but in the whole thing. I was in love with it, so I'll just share my experience because I listen to a lot of stuff on Bandcamp because I'm always in search of new bands, right? So I was listening to this, and I thought maybe they mislabeled this. This doesn't sound like Americana. And then I thought, wait a minute, Christina, drop your preconceived notions of what Americana sounds like. This is Americana. And it was amazing. I listened to the whole song, and I thought, that's it. It's going on the show. So Alight is quite something. Where can we find them, David?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh.
It's always good when you ask me things that I forgot to say. Actually, no, you came back and we're doing this. You can find them at Alight, as we mentioned, ALITE Band, on Facebook, Alight Band on Facebook. And boy, if that wasn't enough to inspire you to go there and check out all the other stuff that they have to offer.
If that doesn't inspire you, nothing
I
will.
mean, then you're as the song says, Jack, you dead.
Yeah, I think you're dead inside. And I don't condone that. So, and you know what time it is? It is time for Hummingbirds. And for this feature, we hum songs and see if the other person can guess the song in a head-to-head battle. And we do lightning rounds now because we find that that's more fun, more stressful, and also just more interesting. So, the way that I have it here, it looks like you go first. So, what do you got for me? I'm hoping I can get this.
All
I'm
right.
so worried.
Let's kick off La La Birds with the usual cotton balls that you're going to know by heart.
Oh, my God.
Well, honestly,
You threaten cotton balls and you give me
every
anvils.
Time. I'm telling you, Hummingbirds is, in fact, I mean, cotton ball, it really looks like a cotton ball, and it's an ice ball, you know. But Hummingbirds is, in fact, a lot easier than what will be coming up next time, which is Various Songbirds, the words. Because we're allowed to hum the melody, and we're allowed to hum the chorus, La La the chorus, and
right.
I'm not saying if I'm doing that right now with the first song, which is, okay, which part do I pick of this gem to La La? La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baby, that is all you get.
Oh, that end, that sounded correct there, but I don't know. Oh, shit.
I think
Okay.
I was kind of on point with this one. Yeah. La 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 la.
Night Fever.
La 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 la.
Night Fever by the Bee Gees.
By the Bee Gees.
I thought I had it, and then I was like, maybe not. Okay, that was a cotton ball.
That was, we're talking
seriously.
cotton socks, you know.
That was nice. That was nice. And you even did like an underhanded throw, so thank you. That was so sweet.
I mean, what they sing like 80% of the song.
You know what? I don't need your shit. I don't need you to call me out.
Hey, well within the rules.
All right,
Lightning
all right.
round, you know.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Totally ready.
Let's see.
Hound of the Baskervilles outside. Don't mind us.
La la la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
An octave higher, and you'd probably be close to John Anderson singing "Yes" Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Exactly. Very nice.
Gee, didn't this come up in conversation earlier?
It did, actually.
It did. We were talking about that song that just is a huge hit for a band, and they're like, why? What the
Why?
fuck is
Why wasn't it
this
Roundabout?
one?
Why wasn't it Heart of the Sunrise? What the hell?
And some of them resent it for that.
Yeah.
It's like, why does everybody like you so much? You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like your favorite kid, you know, and you think it's a brat, and everybody else thinks it's adorable.
Adorable.
It's
exactly.
like Beethoven allegedly was about the Moonlight Sonata, which was not. I don't think that was the name he gave it anyway. I think somebody else stuck that with it.
I do like it, but yeah.
Oh, great. All right, here's another cotton ball. Another not going to have you mismatched and only one sock. We're going to knitch another one here with
We
this
shall
cotton
see.
ball. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
But I want that to you. That's why I hate myself for loving you.
Ow!
Joan Jett?
Uh-oh, is that a question mark at the
Shit.
end? Oh, I thought this was a slam dunk.
Myself for loving you. Joan Jett and the Black Hearts, maybe?
That's a definite possibility. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I think I mentioned this when I was talking about Joan Jett, Unnested Flying Solo. Was
Yes,
it?
but I'm
Yeah.
like, I just couldn't remember if it was Joan Jett or her with the Black Hearts, and that's a big distinction there.
Oh.
They're not the same.
No, but I think almost all the records have been with the Blackhearts.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. But that's why augmented.
And that's right. That is
Okay,
correct.
that's pretty
So
nice.
we're,
All right.
everybody's
Everything's
scored.
copacetic,
Everything's
so far. All right, here we go. La 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 la.
Hello. Wait, where's my clothespin? In the name. I'm sorry. The wonderful, delightful U2 with Pride, in parentheses, in the name of love.
Yeah, and if you say he sings with a clothespin again, we're going to have some words. Online and offline. But
Mr.
yes,
Bono,
very well done. Very well
salute,
done.
sir. No, he's cool. He's cool.
All right, your turn.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, let me get in the right frame here.
Mm-hmm. That's the wonder.
I have a bad throat, so I can yakking and yakking, but that's a karaoke favorite.
Elvis.
Elvis, "The Wonder of You." Yes, that's one of my
love
favorite.
that
That's one of my favorite ones
song.
to do. Yeah.
Yes. Very much you do your crooner thing.
I croon, they swoon. That's how it works.
You know what I really love about you and admire is your modesty?
Yeah, nobody gives two shits what I'm doing.
Whatever.
Not a single bra thrown on the stage, you know.
I can
Not one hotel key.
I can bring a bra if you want and just throw it at you. May not be mine, but I can bring one.
I should have plants in the audience. Here, young lady, do you mind throwing this at me?
Yeah, sure. Right now? Not at my face.
But damn, if that bar full of kids didn't know those songs.
They
God
knew
bless
it.
them, yeah.
They knew them.
All right, what do you got for me now, kid?
Are you ready?
Thank you.
Okay, ready? La 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 la
Wow.
la la.
We're on a clobbering spree tonight with A lot of very challenging vocalists there. Mr. Steve Perry and Journey. Oh, no, sorry, not Journey. Steve Perry, rather, solo. Oh, Sherry.
It is one of my favorite songs. That song brings me to my knees. It is the sweetest.
Steve Perry kicks ass.
Should have been gone. Oh, come on. Okay, anyway. It is your turn for the last one. We'll see if I get it. You are 3 for 3.
Steve Perry kicks ass. Did I mention that?
He does.
All right. Now, I know it's not polite to say I don't want to hear, but I don't want to hear. You don't know this one. We're on a real. We're doing great tonight.
Every time you do that, I don't want to hear. I never do that to you.
Well, you'll understand. You'll go, okay, I understand not wanting to hear this because it would be total bullshit if I didn't know this one. Here it comes.
God. Just go ahead. You're so subtle. Subtle.
No expectation of pressure.
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
No shame if you don't know it, even though it's impossible for you not to.
Fuck you. Fucking do it. Fuck, all this build up.
Okay.
I better get it.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I'm not doing this well. La 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 la. Uh-oh.
It's so familiar.
La 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 la. No, 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 no. La 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 la. That was that. No, that was a guitar part.
No idea.
La 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 la.
It sounds sort of vaguely familiar.
So tell me, why can't this be love? Van Halen, why can't this be love? Big hit, I thought. Sorry.
No, I love that song. I do know that song.
It's got what it takes. So tell me, why can't this be love? The playback, we'll let the referees decide whether I did it adequately or not.
We will. I have no idea.
Okay, so maybe I'll blow this next one.
I hope not. I don't think so. Ready? La 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 la.
Uh-oh.
La 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 la.
Ain't gonna break my stride. Uh-oh. Break My Stride by... it's not Rupert Holmes. It's not... shit. Who did Break My Stride? I know the song. Last night I had the strangest
fucking love
dream.
this song.
I sailed away to China in a little rowboat to find you. Hell yeah! And who is Mr. Hell yeah? Shoot.
Uh-oh.
Cliff DeBerg? No.
You're just like pulling shit out of your ass?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, you have exactly like 5 seconds.
All right, I give up.
Matthew Wilder.
Oh, no, I never would have got that one.
Okay.
That just didn't register at all.
Fuck. Okay, well, we did good.
We know the song anyway.
We did good. Yeah, you knew the song. I fucked up the fourth one entirely, so I give you half credit.
So we're
on that
tied.
One. Well, you win because I give you half credit on that. You got the song.
Well,
you just didn't get the artist.
That doesn't count. Okay. Matthew Wilder, really?
Matthew Wilder, yes.
Shit.
So the next artist is the Denim Daddies with "Kill the Heart." They are from Edmonton, Alberta, and they call themselves outlaw-inspired alt-country Americana, and it totally fits. Let's take a listen to the Denim Daddies. Whoosh.
A simple song for stupid people. Same old shit still spins out we owe. Down the creek, they can't wait to drink it up. Perfectly, but emotionless. Reality becomes reachless. Pseudo-truth.
right, so whoosh. We are back, and that was the Denim Daddies, and I love the guitar on this, and I love that it sounds like they're using brushes to play the drums. It's not too harsh. The guitar work is really, really nice, but it's not overdone. Again, I'm really liking the understated things. Now, I will say, the vocals, the effects on the vocals is not understated. I do like the effect, the echoey effect, kind of. We heard, who does that a lot? Oh my God, what is his name? I hear him. I can hear him in my head. Who's the artist?
Greg Lake.
Well, that's one of them. Yeah. But there are more that use it. Oh, God, I can't remember his name. He did that really crazy video that ruined his career. Rock Me. Oh,
Billy Squier.
Billy Squier. That's
the
it.
Man.
That's right. So he uses that effect, and I do like that effect a lot. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun and poppy at the same time. I liked his voice. He definitely doesn't over-sing. I still love the harmonies. I think they're ideal. I really, really liked them. Where are you at?
Well, I really loved it too. I like how it has a sort of a southern rock leaning.
Yes.
Kind of like, the Outlaws and everything, but it deserves to be called Americana, partially because, well, it has but it deserves to be called Americana. Like I said, the understatedness of the rhythm section and everything, but it has those guitars, so it's like a kind of a half. It's very electrified, but it's not full tilt.
Which I loved. I
which
felt
is
like
perfect.
It's perfect again. Yes,
and this is Americana is great. I probably shouldn't say that. Okay, I was going to say I hate country. I was going to say I hate modern country. We might as well out ourselves. So we're not particular fans of modern country.
We're not huge fans of modern. I like old school country,
yes,
and I like Americana. I like bluegrass.
Totally.
There's like. You know what I mean? There's like these middle sections that I like, but I don't like today's country. Oh.
No, and this avoids... Actually, all of the songs we've heard tonight have avoided the country pitfalls.
That's correct.
And just have seized everything that's good in the things that used to fuel into that and still power Americana.
Agreed.
Great tunes. And this is Denim Daddies. I mean, we got Denim Daddies, we got Denim, we got Sawdust.
I mean,
there's
what more
no telling.
do we need?
I mean, there's no mistaking what's going on here.
No, absolutely. And, I love it.
It was another winner, another smash.
Yes. And I wanted to say his vocals are emphatic, and I really like that. And I also think it's great, crazily catchy, which is a good sign of a pop song. But Americana, I feel like it straddles that without selling out to the catchy, poppy country of today that neither of us care for.
Right. There's a delicious gravity to it. I mean, it's serious. It's like, ooh, that's a... In fact, we might as well out ourselves to the audience that we had mixed up the song title. And
damn you, David.
It totally did not go... I'm thinking like, wow,
damn you, David.
That's pretty damn clever to have a song title like this, innocuous as this, and have this really kind of edgy, too.
Can I have no secrets?
All right. Well, do we want to edit out our secrets? We can edit secrets here. But, we're very transparent with you folks, obviously. Not afraid to make fools of ourselves, are we?
True that. Here we are.
It's a job requirement.
That's right. I left my jester hat at home, but I will bring it next time.
We have to sign an affidavit that we're willing to make fools of ourselves.
Exactly.
Which they actually do that when you go on any television program.
Oh, shit.
They do. They make you sign a contract. It's like, we can make you look like an absolute horse's ass in any medium in the universe, present or future, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's fucking rude. I'm sorry. It's fucking rude.
And it's kind of like this show.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
Jeez.
Potentially.
Oh, God. All right. Well, what's left? What's to come?
Well, another feature of sorts is kind of a mini little feature, a recurring staple that's that we do every single time on Birds of a Feather. Hell yes or oh hell no, you know this one, and we need your help on this one too. And for this feature, we consider bands, acts, and determine if we're in on them or out. We ask you to weigh in. We want to know your opinions, what you think. And the act in question last time was seriously, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Come on.
I'm happy to report that there are no cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers in the audience who dared open their filthy sewer holes or direct their hell-spawned fingers to click hell no on Earth, Wind, and Fire, because it was 100% hell yes.
Yeah.
Because, how can you not love them? We've discussed them a lot on the show. Not only, and we did They did it better than Emu, or that was the
Yes.
question last time. But also, they do basically our theme song, a song.
Absolutely. Do you remember the 21st
Do you remember the 21st of September?
Yes.
So if I'm 90% senile enough to forget what day I met Christina, but
The
thanks,
song does not
thanks to
allow.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, it's never going to change. It's always there.
Yes,
All
it
I got to
is.
do is remember the song.
That's right.
And listen to it.
That's right.
And I don't have to miss another anniversary.
That's exactly
Which
correct.
is coming up.
That is correct.
Second
Almost
one coming up.
2 years.
2 years.
So yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, there is nothing like that level of joy in a song. They are there to inspire, to uplift, to move, to really. I think if you're ever going to need music to bring you back from the brink of just sorrow or depression, put on some Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they are going to just bring you back and tell you you're a shining star.
No matter who you
That's
are.
right. I mean, just an amazing band, just amazing musicians, beautiful vocals, and the horn section, just everything about this band is amazing. So I was really encouraged that I saw 100%. It's weird because I keep putting bands out there that I think people are going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
right?
Earth, Wind, and Fire could have gone either way.
If there was a person out there who didn't vote
Right.
for simply not knowing or being familiar with the song she mentioned, Shining Star, is a good place to start.
Oh, yeah.
It is absolute pure, unbridled, explosive joy.
It is.
The kick-ass horns, the phenomenal
Yes.
guitar solo, the awesome vocals. This, it's beautiful. Just
really
beautiful.
is.
And the way it shining top for you to see what your life will truly be. Oh,
It's
my
so
goodness.
great.
You got to hear this tune. So we're totally in with everybody else on Earth, Wind, and Fire. But what about next time? We have a question for you. We need your opinion on hell yes or oh hell no. And this time it's sort of a similar band. They're equated.
Just
and
keeping a theme.
Keeping a theme here, rightly so. Fantastic pop, R&B, soul, rock, just everything you could ever want. The Commodores. Oops, did I just out myself as the
You
Commodores?
totally did.
Oh, we've done that before. Okay,
I
what
have-
is
I
that
have
going to
not
change
outed
anybody?
myself
If
yet.
is that going to change anybody's
We're
vote?
supposed to
You know?
tell them what we think. I will reserve mine for next.
All right, okay.
All right.
Well, I won't say how much. It's just okay. Yeah, they ain't bad. These kids ain't bad. Okay, how about that? The Commodores, of course, the launching ground for the amazing Lionel Richie,
Exactly.
who's not bad, not at all. He's okay.
He's all right. I mean,
Kid's okay. You know,
I mean, we'll talk about him later. I mean,
Hey,
but you know.
decent tunes, that kid. Huh? Now, that time you open your donut hole and tell us what's next.
I feel like my donut hole has been open most of this show, but that's all right. The new theme, what you've been waiting for. Yes, one more Freebird. Will there be more? Will there be no more? I don't know, but this time it's acoustic any. Think MTV Unplugged, like Nirvana, McCartney, Clapton. Think Simon and Garfunkel. Think Dylan. Think Indigo Girls. Think Sean Colvin. Do you have an unplugged version of your otherwise full band song? Are you an artist that exclusively performs acoustically? We want your music. Send it. We want it acoustic any. So send it on in. We already have a few submissions because I am so ahead of the game.
So it.
And we look forward to hearing that. I'm a big singer-songwriter gal myself, and you being a Dylan fan, I know you and I are both going to just enjoy the hell out of this next one. So another Freebird, because why the hell not? So that's all I have to say about our final little, I guess, well, no. That's all I have to say about our new theme. But I feel that there is one more piece, one more important piece of the pie here.
The pie? Did you say pie for a reason?
I like pie. Maybe
And-
one more.
And where does pie go?
In your
In
donut
your pie?
hole.
Yeah, your donut hole. All right. Well, I guess what she seems to be intimating is that it's time to wrap this puppy up in a neat little blanket. And our next offering is a new episode of Winging It. Enjoy our 15 to 45-minute show that covers one topic. No music, no features, just mainstream music chat, opinions, and uproarious laughter. That's
Always.
Force of suggestion. Let that work on you until then. You know.
You're fucking up the whole thing here.
It's going to happen anyway. Your boys are coming at you every week. Subscribe to our feed at BOAF, both on air, boafonair.podbean.com, and enable notifications so you never miss a show, or subscribe and listen on your favorite platform. We're not even bothering to name them anymore because there's so many.
There's so many.
So many. Remember that we cannot grow our flock without you, so please share us on your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. feeds, and introduce us to some of your buds, some of your BFFs. Talk about us around the actual or virtual water cooler. And, so...
Just get it done.
Get the word out there.
Come on.
Get the word out there.
That's right. We cannot grow our flock without you.
They carry news that must get through.
That's right.
You. All right, and, I guess that only leaves for you to say...
Let's get the flock out of here.
This has been Birds of a Feather on What the Flock Radio.